Namaskar. Today I am going to tell you about the presidential election of the United States of America, where Kamala Harris, the existing Vice President of the United States of America, is fighting against her counterpart, our former President Donald Trump. Alright, so this election is one of the toughest elections going to be fought in the United States of America. So Kamala Harris is the 49th Vice President of the United States of America, and she is the incumbent Vice President, right? She assumed office on 20th January 2021, and the President is Joe Biden. Joe Biden was supposed to contest this election as the Democratic candidate, but in the month of June and July, she started speaking incoherently. That is why maybe it is due to his age, for which Donald Trump also complaining repeatedly, and he was mocking also of Joe Biden, but ultimately the Democratic Democratic Party leaders as well as Joe Biden himself thought that it might not be fair enough to contest in the election. That is why he himself declared that he is not fighting the election, and he is rather endorsing his Vice President Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a Indian-born mother's daughter, right? So the people of India has a general love for her, and she is only 60 or 61 years old. She was born in 1964. And that is why 1964 on 29th October, right? So Oklahoma and California, USA. So she is now how much? 59, so 64, and you say 59 years old. She's just 1 year senior to me. And she also did her master's in political science. I also did my master's in political science, and I have a general love and respect for women throughout the world, and I have been doing research for women's empowerment throughout the world. And when I see that a woman is contesting this kind of tough fight, definitely my support goes to her. And not only that, even she is the only black woman who is contesting against a tough contender, Donald Trump, right? She is the only Attorney General of a district who is fighting against Donald Trump, Republican Party presidential contest. She is the only woman Vice President who is fighting in the history of America against a candidate of Republican Party. So this is the background, and on this background, and she being a woman, if she comes in power, it will be a history in the United States of America, because before her nobody became a woman vice president, and she became the first woman vice president, and she is going to become the first president of the United States, lady president of the United States of America. And the world, particularly the advocates of women's empowerment, are watching eagerly to see her in the chair of President of the United States of America, right? Kamala Harris. I am just giving you a brief introduction of Kamala Harris. Who is Kamala Harris, and what is his background, and what is what is her performance? I would like to say about her performance as a vice president, and as an attorney, and as an activist of people's or downtrodden people's advocate. All right. So let me begin my speech. So Kamala Harris, she was born, I told you earlier that born on October 29, 1964. She is an American politician and attorney who is the 49th and current Vice President of the United States of America since 2021, serving with President Joe Biden. Right, so this is a very interesting combine of President Joe Biden, President Joe Biden is also a very good man, because he during his work with President Barack Obama, he showed his love and affection. He showed his caliber, and he showed his administrative power to the people. And both Barack Obama and Joe Biden had a very good rapport, right, and good relationship. I have seen many videos of both of them. Okay, so she is the first female vice president in the history of America. So she made her the highest ranking female official in the United States, as well as both the first African American. She is the first African American and the first Asian American vice president. So these are the great exceptions of her. Right, these are the great qualities, these are the great achievements of Kamala Harris. So she served as the US Senator from California from 2017 to 2021, and earlier as the Attorney General of California. She worked as the Attorney General of California. That was also a record, because before her there was not a black woman who became the Attorney General of California, right? So Harris is the Democratic Party presidential nominee for the 2024 United States of America's presidential election, right? So I told you that she was not, she had to work as vice president under Joe Biden, with Joe Biden, but Joe Biden, he left out of this presidential race, and he nominated Harris as the presidential candidate. And immediately, not only he, along with him, President Barack Obama endorsed her, and Bill Clinton, and many great people, many great presidents, and many great Democrats also advocated and also extended their support for Kamala Harris. So Kamala Harris, this year's fight is between Kamala Harris from Democratic Party and Donald Trump from Republican Party, right? So I told that she was born in Oklahoma, California. She was graduated from Howard University and the University of California College of Law, San Francisco. She began her law career in the office of the District Attorney, DA of Alameda County at first, right, before being recruited to the San Francisco DA's office, and later the city's attorney of San Francisco's office. In 2003, she was elected DA of San Francisco, and she was elected Attorney General of California in 2010. Since 2010 to 2017, 2014, she was 2017. She was the Attorney General of California, because she was elected first in 2010 and re-elected in 2014 in that post, Attorney General of California. Right. So Harris served as the junior U.S. Senator from California from 2017 to 2021. She defeated Loretta Sanchez in the 2016 Senate election to become the second black woman and the first South Asian American to serve the U.S. Senate, right? So these are the unique contributions, these are the unique achievements of Kamala Harris. So as a senator, Kamala Harris advocated for stricter gun control law, while President Donald Trump, though initially told about gun control, but actually he could not do anything. But Kamala Harris has a record of advocacy for stricter gun control law, and the DREAM Act, federal legislation of cannabis, and healthcare and taxation reforms. She did all these things. She has a record that she has done all these things. She gained a national profile for her appointed questions of Trump administration officials during Senate hearings, including Trump's second Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh. So you see, she is such a vice president who worked for who has an experience of administration as a vice president of the United States of America for 4 years, for full term. She has an experience as an attorney general. She knows the law of the land. She has worked for people. She has worked for the black. She has worked for the Hispanic. She has worked for the downtrodden. She has worked for the students. She has worked for the parents. She has a vast experience of administration. And she is ultimately a good human being. That is why people have showered or have been showering love and affection on her. People have been showering their affection and love and respect towards her, and they are supporting her, particularly the youth, the blacks, the Hispanic people, the Asian people are as a whole are stood behind her and supporting her so that she can come in power, right? Harris served the 2020 Democratic presidential elections in 2019 also, but withdrew from the race before the primaries. Biden selected her as his running mate, and their ticket defeated the incumbent presidential vice president Donald Trump and Mike Pence in 2020 election. Harris and Biden were inaugurated on January 2021, presiding over an evenly split Senate. Upon entering office, Harris played a crucial role as president of the Senate, casting the most tie-breaking votes of any vice president, which helped pass bills such as the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, Stimulus Package, and the Inflation Reduction Act. After Biden withdrew from the 2024 presidential election, Harris launched her own presidential campaign with Biden's endorsement. She chose Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. So this was her performance as a presidential candidate in the 2019 election, right? But she ultimately withdrew. Okay, so now I'm not going in detail about her competition or about her preparation in the 2019 elections, but I'll say about a little about her early education and early life, right? So Kamala, her full name is Kamala Devi Harris. So she was born in Oakland, California on October 20, 1964. So her mother, Shamula Gopalan, right, was a biologist who arrived in the United States from India in 1958 to enroll in Graduate School of Endocrinology at the University of California, Berkeley. So her mother was a researcher at the initial stage, but she became a doctor, and she was a researcher who ended her career of over 40 years as a scientist, right? So during which her work on the progesterone receptor gene led to the advances in breast cancer research, but ultimately she died in cancer. Harris' brother, Donald J. Harris arrived in the U.S. from Jamaica in 1961, also enrolled in the U.S. Berkeley and specializing in development economics. So her mother, Kamala Harris's mother, was a doctor, while her father was an economist, a great economist of UC Berkeley. Right. So the first black scholar, he was the. So Kamala Harris's father, Donald J. Harris, he was the first black scholar to be granted tenure as the Department of Economics in Stanford University. He now has emeritus status there. So he's still an emeritus professor there. Kamala Harris's parents met in 1962 and married in the following year, that is in 1993. So Harris's childhood home was at Bancroft in Berkeley. The Harris family then lived in several college towns in the upper Midwest, Urbana, Illinois, where her sister Maya was born in 1966. Right. So Kamala's sister's name is Maya. Here she was born in 1966, Evanston, Illinois, and Madison, Wisconsin. The parents are holding teaching and research positions. So by 1970, the marriage had faltered, and Shamula moved back to California with her 2 daughters. The couple is divorced when Kamala was only 7 years old. So this is a great problem in the United States of America. In India also these kind of problems are cropping up, where there is divorce between divorce of husband and wife. Then the children are in problem. Children's upbringing becomes really problematic. So Kamala Harris and her sister Ma had to face the same problem. All right. So a support group of friends of Shamula, among other African American intellectuals and rights activists in Oklahoma and Berkeley, influenced the Harris girls critically. So 5 years later, Shamula accepted a research position at the McGill University School of Medicine and moved with her daughter there. So this was the childhood of Kamala and Maya. So they shifted to Montreal, Quebec. Harris graduated with Westmount High School in 1981. Kamala Harris attended Vanier College in Montreal in 1981 to 1982, and then attended Howard University. Howard University, you should know that Howard University is a historic black university in Washington D.C. Okay, right, where the students of black parents study. And she graduated in 1986 with a degree of political science and economics. Political science and economics was her subject. So Harris then attended. So the political scientists know better the politics in the world. I say, it seems to me that the scientists, the students of political science know better than others what is politics, how to deal with politics, both domestic and international politics. They know better. They are the people who can be trusted with power, because they know what is power, how to utilize, what are their limitations, how they should deal with people, and how they should deal with the world. So Harris, this is Kamala Harris, and this is her. This is about her degrees and education. So Harris then attended the University of California, Hastings College of the Law in San Francisco, where she served as the president of its chapter. This is the first time she served as the president of the chapter of the Black Law Students Association. She graduated with Juris Doctor, Doctor of Juris. I said Juris Doctor, Doctor of Jurisprudence, in 1989. After that, after 1989, and this is early career. Early career she started in 1990 as the Deputy District Attorney of Alameda County, California. At first, she became a Deputy District Attorney in Alameda County as in California, where she was described as an able prosecutor on the way up. In 1994, Speaker of the California Assembly Willie Brown, who was then dating Harris. That's the first thing. It's an interesting thing, and that Speaker of California Assembly Willie Brown appointed her to the State Unemployment Insurance Appeal Board and led it to the California Medical Assistance Commission. In February 1998, San Francisco District Attorney Terrence Hallinan recruited Harris as an assistant district attorney. There, she became the chief of the Career Criminal Division, supervising 5 other attorneys where she prosecuted homicide. You see her record of achievement. She prosecuted homicide, burglary, robbery, and sexual assault cases. So these are the cases she held, and she handled since last 20 years. You see, particularly three strikes case. In August 2020, in August 2000, Harris took a job at San Francisco City Hall, working for City Attorney Louis Rennie. Harris ran the Family and Children's Services Division, representing child abuse and neglect causes. Rennie endorsed Harris during the DA campaign. You see, so Harris, with California Representative, Harris has made friendship, or she became introduced with Nancy Pelosi in 2004. So in this way, her more political association, or more political intimacy was growing with great politicians of the United States. In 2002, Harris ran for District Attorney of San Francisco, running a forceful campaign and differentiating herself from Hallinan by attacking his performance. And Harris won the election with she attained a huge support, and she was elected with 56% of vote, becoming the first person of color elected district attorney of San Francisco. She ran unsupported for a second term in 2007. You see her achievements. You see her achievements. This is really really praiseworthy, and that is why a president like her will be great, or will be helpful for the people of the United States of America and for the world as a whole. So within first 6 months of taking office, Harris cleared 27 of the 74 backlogged homicide cases. You see her performance. So for so many cases were pending in the courts, but she cleared 27 cases, homicide cases, out of 74 backlogged homicide cases, right? She also pushed for higher bail for criminal defendants involved in gun-related crimes. So she is aware what is gun-related crimes, right? Very well. So arguing that historically low bail encouraged outsiders to commit crimes in San Francisco. She realized this, and that is why during her campaign, Harris pledged never to seek the death penalty. She was against death penalty, right, and kept to this in the cases of San Francisco Police Department officer Isaac Espinoza, who was shot dead and killed in 2004, and again of Edwin Ramos, an illegal immigrant and alleged MS-13 gang member who was accused of murdering a man and his two sons in 2009. Harris created a hate crime unit focusing on hate crimes against LGBT children and teens in schools. You see, she understood the problems of LGBT community children and teens in schools, and she realized that these, and she supported them. And she still supports them, because ideology never changes, normally doesn't change. And she supported AB 1160, the Goen Araujo Justice for Victims Act. As district attorney, she created an environmental crimes unit in 2005. So Harris expressed support for San Francisco's sanctuary city policy, if not inquiring about immigration status in the process of a criminal investigation. In 2004, Harris created the San Francisco Reentry Division. Over 60 years, the 200 people graduated from the program had a recidivism rate of less than 10% compared to 53% of California's drug offenders who returned to prison within 2 years of release in 2006. As part of an initiative to reduce the city's skyrocketing homicide rate, Harris had a city-wide effort to combat truancy for at-risk elementary school students in San Francisco in 2008, declaring chronic truancy a matter of public safety and pointing out that the majority of prison inmates and homicide victims are dropouts or habitant truants. You see, she knew that the crimes being committed in the latter life had the background of truancy in their school days. She understood this very well, and she issued citations against 6 parents whose children missed at least 50 days in school. You see what kind of attorney she was. She helped parents to be aware that their students should not be truants. Their students should come to school, and when she saw that the students with 50 days of truancy, she first time this happened in San Francisco, that she prosecuted adults for student truancy, right? So Harris's office ultimately prosecuted 7 parents in 3 years with none jailed. Very good thing. So by April 2009, 1,330 elementary school students were habitual or chronic truants, down 23% from 1,730 in 2008 and from 2,517 in 2017 and 2,856 in 2006. You see the rate of reduction. Students started to come to school regularly. So this was the achievement of Kamala Harris Right. So for this reason, it seems that she is a good person, and if she comes in power, the people of the United States of America as a whole will be benefited. In the 2010 general elections, Harris defeated Republican Los Angeles County District Attorney Steve Cooley. She was sworn in on January 3, 2011. She was the first woman, the first African American, and the first South Asian American to hold the office of Attorney General in the state's history. In February 2014, Harris announced her intention to run for a re-election. On November 4, 2014, Harris was re-elected. Again, Republican nominee Donald Gold with 57.5% of the vote to Gold's 42.5%. So these year also, it seems that a large section of historians and political scientists and observers of political happenings, they think that that Kamala Harris might be a very good candidate for the Democrats, and she may win the election. Right. In 2015, Harris obtained a $1.2 billion judgment against four profit Corinthian colleges for false advertising and deceptive marketing targeting vulnerable low-income students and misrepresenting job placement rights to students, investors, and accreditation agencies. So she is also tough, right? So Harris opposed California's ban on affirmative action and filed an amicus curiae belief in the Supreme Court case Fisher versus University of Texas, asking that the court reaffirm its decision that public colleges and universities may consider race as one factor in admissions decisions. So this is her standpoint. She stands for women. She stands for students. She stands for black students. She stands for black people. So that is why now it is time for black people, for Asian people, for Hispanic people, to colored people to support her, to bring her in power, so that she can do more for the entire communities, for the entire people of the world, and particularly the people of the United States of America. So in February 2012, Harris announced an agreement with Apple, Amazon, Google, Hewlett-Packard, Microsoft, Research in Motion, and Facebook to mandate the apps sold in their stores display prominent privacy policies, informing users of what private information they were sharing and with whom. So this is a very good step she took. In 2015, Harris secured 2 settlements with Comcast totaling $59 million over allegations that it posted online the names, phone numbers, and addresses of tens of thousands of customers and discarded paper records without first omitting or reactivating or redacting private customer information. So in 2009 also, in this way, how much shall I say? She had many wins. She had many victories in her life. And in I would say another in November 2013, Harris launched the California Department of Justice's Division of Recidivism Reduction and Reentry. Her record on wrongful conviction cases as Attorney General has been criticized by academics and activists. After the 2011 Supreme Court decision, Brown versus Plata declared California's prisons so overcrowded they inflicted cruel and unusual punishment, Harris fought federal supervision, saying, "I have a client, and I don't get to choose any client." In September 2014, Harris's office argued unsuccessfully in a court filing against the early release of prisoners, citing the need for inmate firefighting labor. So these are the achievements. Some are success, and some are failed. But she tried to protect human rights. She tried to liberty. She tried to protect human dignity. She tried to protect women. She tried to protect women's rights, children's rights, students' rights. So these are the things she did in her life. And Harris is now very famous, is now very popular, and is now very accepted leader in the United States of America. And many people think that she will become the next president. And if she becomes next president, her people's expectation from her is much. because people expect that she will once again bring Roe versus Wade case, because people so that women have the reproductive right. People think that she will try to control gun violence. She will try to help students who are in debts. She will once again try to give medical facilities to the poor, to the middle class, and to the veterans, and so medical facilities, then health facilities, medical facilities, health facilities, education facilities, and people's liberty, people's equality, women's equality, particularly wage equality. All things are housing problems, and wage problems, and all these things should be taken care of. So this, I think that she will do great, and I wish her best of luck. Thank you very much.